Hey everybody, it is Casey, and what a better place to start my very first video back than in the grocery store a couple days before Thanksgiving. It is crazy crowded in here. It is Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and I didn't know this was going to happen like this. You see behind me, there's tons and tons of people, and I would think everyone would be at work. But apparently that isn't the case. So let me get finished with shopping, and then I'll bring you up with a little bit of up-to-date on what's been going on in my life. This is the sad and lonely person's Thanksgiving dinner, which otherwise means me. Good thing I was able to find it. All right, we made it. So, I officially made it out of the grocery store, only spending $36, which is probably a first. Particularly surprising since it's Thanksgiving. But, lucky for me, I don't have any friends or family, at least not in the state. So, which brings us to the question, where in the hell am I anyways? This is unusual, you guys aren't used to this. I'm in a place with mountains in the background, can you see them? I don't know, you might be able to. Mountains ahead. I'm in Rutland Plaza, which is a small city in Rutland, Vermont. And my new home. Decided to move back to where I originally started, New England, put my life back together again. And things have been a little bit weird, I've got to tell you. First of all, I'm filming you with a phone. Sure couldn't do that the last time I checked out. Another thing, when I just went to the grocery store, I didn't give them any cash. I didn't give them a credit card. I didn't give them a membership card. But I had all those things. Instead, I paid using my phone. And my wrist vibrated to tell me that I'd done so. Now, I know all of you guys are thinking, what the big deal? That's how you pay for things these days. But for me, that's still a little taking getting used to. So I'm here in the old Nissan. Like I said, it's Thanksgiving. And the traffic is crazy up here. I'm used to going around when nobody's here. Today, that's not the case. I had off work, and you got to go shopping when you have the time off work. But I'll tell you what, you know I don't like crowds. And every person over 60 is in here right now. I guess this makes sense. It's the holidays, and of course, here in Vermont, where the population is older, probably got a lot of grandparents that have their kids coming up. It's a perfect place for the holidays, with the snow-capped mountains in the background and picturesque cities. But let's see, let me hand out this cart. Okay, well, expected him to say something, but he did not. Usually this is a very friendly town. He's probably just also disturbed by the crowds. But you know what? I like it. I'm glad to be in a place where I can have crowds and enjoy life without all the restrictions. So, get inside this car here. Stop looking like a crazy man talking on my phone, but I guess that's what everybody does these days anyways. Here we are, Vermont. It's me, Casey. I went out today to do some shopping, as you can tell. And I'm trying to get everything done on one day that would normally take a whole lot longer than that. The reason why is because I'm working, and I'm working all the time. I haven't really had an opportunity to say hello to everybody or send out any messages because, well, there's just a lot of restrictions that were in place initially, and then I got busy. And also, I'm always by myself. So there's not too much talking that I can do completely on my own. Now, those of you who know me know better than that. You know that I could do an entire video on my own, and I guess that's what we're going to do. But I figured I would introduce you guys to my new life very slowly. So today, it was grocery shopping. Gave you a look at what's going on in here. I'll tell you more about it later. I will give you an update on what's going on. These videos, high quality compared to what I'm used to. So you can see this little red spot on my eye. That was a work injury that I sustained a couple weeks ago. So I don't have a outbreak of acne of the eye or anything like that. It was a propellant shot towards my eye, and it was pretty bad. I had to go to the doctor over it, but it's starting to heal up now, and hopefully it will get better over time as we continue. But more in a little bit. I'm going to show you the house and give you a little bit more updates and let you know exactly what's going on with Casey. This right here is the federal courthouse, just for those of you who may be interested. Beautiful old building. Contains the post office right now, but they are moving, or I think they have moved to right here. Art Deco building. Pretty interesting stuff, and not too far from where I live. All right, so it's Casey again, and I'm gonna have to get used to these phones. Do you go this way or do you go this way? I don't know. It's gonna take me a little bit while to figure out what's the popular trend right now. I've heard, rumor has it that doing it the lengthwise is trendy, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep the phone on the side. I'm a kind of a traditional guy as much as possible. So anyways, where am I? I am at the house. Here we are. We've got this ridiculous TV that I did not buy. Somebody else bought it. More on that later though. We got this wall here, temporary wall, and a bed. This is where I live. Over here we've got a couch and a whole bunch of stuff. You may ask, what is he doing with his couch in his bedroom? Well, the answer is I'm not in the bedroom, I'm in the living room. The temporary wall here, up there is the upstairs, and it's getting renovated. We bought this house here, and it is in shabby condition, but it's what I could afford. And so we're renovating it one floor at a time, starting with the top. Then I'll move upstairs and renovate the bottom. Given the price, though, wasn't a bad deal. Over here we've got what would have been the dining room. It's really just a mess. I got this was originally my entire refrigerator, but now it's just a beverage refrigerator. And I've got our vending machines. One of the businesses I do now. Then over here we've got the kitchen. Very fancy looking kitchen, right? That is the new refrigerator. Reason I had to upgrade, freezer space. Could not deal with the freezer space in that little one. I was trying to stay as cheap as possible, but you know what? I need a freezer. There's a real freezer for you, So, final room on the tour is the actual kitchen. Whoa, what a mess. I use this as a dumping ground. This right here is recycling. And this over here is all the nuts and bolts and all of the tools that we're using to work on the place. So, yeah, it's a mess. I admit it. But that's okay, because refrigerator right here from 1972 does not work. Sink over here does not work. Stove over here, aka tool department, does not work. So there is a lot of stuff that needed fixing, and I decided rather than fixing a kitchen just to fix a kitchen, why not just do a temporary kitchen? So that's the way I'm living right now. It's kind of ghetto, but hey, it's what we're doing. So that's it for now. More in a bit. Hey again. So a little bit more about the house and everything that's going on. I'm up here now and I'm working for a ski resort. So they keep me busy. It's the winter time right now. You couldn't tell outside because the snow has just melted. We're in a little bit of a warm-up period. And during the warm-up periods is when I have off. That's why I decided, great time to get started with you guys. And because, boom, we finally got the computers worked out. Right there, we've got an old Casey and Do video. Let's see what we got here.
Let's see if it's got a price on it. No, just a phone number.
Whoa.
Say what? Put a price on it?
Me and Do trying to buy a boat, which I assure you we cannot afford. So I haven't really gone back and looked at any of the older stuff or anything like that. It's been one of those things where I've just been focusing on getting grounded and starting over, and lots of stuff going on. But I finally got a little bit of stuff put together that I was able to go through and look at some of the old home videos, and I'm putting them out there. I don't have most of them. Hopefully by the time you guys view this video, I will have most of them. But the reality is that I wasn't worried about it. As you guys know, rewind back to 2005, last time that Casey and Do TV was online. So let me take this call and I'll be right back. It's like 40 degrees outside, which is cold by most standards. But just like anything else, you get acclimated. And for me, I realized that wearing around this jacket in 40-degree weather is just a little bit too much. So that call was an important phone call. Glad I took it. I have to go and pick up my car because the car that I'm in right now is not my permanent car. If we get lucky, we'll be able to get all of this done. Let me see here. Gotta wait for everyone. Traffic. One of the things that was most difficult for me to get acclimated to initially was driving. Now, for those of you who drive every day, which is probably just about everyone, because if you know me, well, you're at least nearly as old as me. I'll call you probably mostly 30 plus. I'm an old man now, not like I used to be. Slowed down a lot. But one of the most difficult things for me was driving, because going 35 miles per hour, and it now feels normal, but 35 miles per hour, very slow speed for most people, felt like I was going 100 miles an hour. When I first got in the car and pushed on the gas and took off, it was, whoa! Scary. Took me a little while to get used to it. There's a new guy now that just got out that I'm talking to who's going through fear of public places. And I feel you. I know exactly what he's talking about. I've been there. I've done that. Where you walk into a place and you feel like, man, all these people are staring at me. I need to be fucking ready. I don't know what they're going to do. And the reality is that none of these people are staring at you. And if they're staring at you, it's not for negative reasons. So that's part of life when you're coming out of prison, and something that people have to get used to. But anyways, used to a lot of stuff now that I wasn't, but I'm still having trouble with technology. And this phone is a great example. I understand like the basics, but whenever we get a little more complicated, it goes to hell for me real quick. One of the things that was the most difficult for me was scrolling. I couldn't figure out how to scroll within a web page or how to double click and stuff. Now, part of that is me being gone forever. Part of that was me switching to a Mac. Switched to Macs because what better time to do it than now? I've been pretty happy with the Tim Cook and company about their privacy stance compared to others. So I used to be anti-Apple. I am now an Apple aficionado, official convert here. So that's the way it is. So as I was saying, I'm in Vermont. It is a small town, small city. We have just about one of everything here, but not two. That's very important to understand. So there is 2 McDonald's. They're very proud to tell you about that here. Well, we've got 2 McDonald's. Oh, yes, they do. But most small towns have 5. Here they've got a Burger King, they've got a Wendy's, they've got a McDonald's, they've got a Taco Bell. They had a KFC. It says under renovations, but I don't know. It was shut down by the health department. So there's about one of everything, which is just about perfect. And it's small. The entire place is 3 miles wide. So I can walk, and I frequently do walk, just about everywhere. Today we're not doing walking. Today we're doing driving. Primarily the cold weather, although it's, like I said, it's not that cold today. I could have definitely walked. But also because we're on very limited time schedules. Everything has to be approved and taken through the ranks ahead of time. And so when I'm trying to get a whole bunch done at once, I just take the car. Also, like I said, this is not my car. This is a rental car. And I would like to return it because it is $75 a day. And since they just called and said that my car is ready, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one as quickly as possible. Yeah. More in a bit. So, car's returned. Can you see the mountains in the background now? I bet you can. That's the beautiful city I live in. Picturesque as can be. And right now, the city is filled with tourists. Now, granted, I'm in an enterprise parking lot, so there's a reason why I'd see a lot of tags, foreign tags there, but the last 3 cars that just drove by me say New York. We're not in New York. So I'm going to walk back to the other car now. It's all fixed. And here's another great thing about this city. Everyone seems incredibly honest. I dropped my car off at this random little shop. It was the only place I could find. The reason why is because it was the car was sounding like a Harley. And I've got a big trip coming up. Stay tuned for more on that. And I did not want to take the car with any potential problems, so I dropped it off at this random little hole in the wall place, and I said, they're going to screw me on pricing, who knows. I was expecting $500 or more to try to fix it. They had it for the last 2 days. How much did they charge me? $70. They got the thing up there, found a way to weld it and fix it, and so they saved me a whole bunch of money. That is something that you just don't see every day in this country anymore. So I'm very happy. I enjoy it here, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of really great things. We're back. Okay, by we I mean me. But you're here too, so that's a we. At least I have some friends. In the other car, as you can see, it's a lot. Well, I guess maybe you can't see that. Maybe I'll just keep the frame exactly like this, and you'll think, man, what a fancy car that Casey has, you know? But reality is this is kind of a shitty car. So the good news is that probably adds to them only charging me $70. They are smart enough to look at it and go, man, this guy, if we charge him $500, he might just tell us to keep the car. But it gets me around. It's got 120,000 miles on it. It was my grandmother's car. I picked it up for free, or for free-ish. You know, I kind of left them with a car when I went away on my extended vacation. And when I came back, 15 years later, that car was no longer in operation. But my grandmother could no longer drive, and this car was around. So now the irony is that this car is actually nearly as old as the old car, which you'll remember was the red Xterra. So this is in the ballpark of the age of that car, maybe plus or minus a year. But it's only got 120,000 miles on it, and it runs. And up until our little incident with the muffler right there, it has not given me any trouble at all. So we're in the downtown area right now, headed back to the house. And the beautiful thing, like I said, about this place is that everything's so close, I could walk if I wanted to. If I didn't have the car, I probably would. There's a lot of people out strolling today because it's a beautiful day in central Vermont. It's getting late, and before I finish up this very first, what we'll call a test video for the new channel, I wanted to let you guys in on a little something I just found out. So I'm working on converting the Casey and Do TV videos for YouTube, and I just watched an episode from October of 2004, and it was called, or it's titled, "Missing Mom," and it's a episode about Do Mom, and about how we thought that she was missing. She disappeared, and we were concerned with what happened to her. Well, nostalgia started going in my mind. I started thinking, I wonder how she's doing these days, because, well, I haven't spoken to her in a long time. And so I put her name into the computer. And guess what comes back? A missing poster. So I'm a little bit freaking out at first. I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, it's from a police department. It's about how this woman's gone missing, blah, blah, blah. And it's all the exact sort of concerns that we had back in the day in the video. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, what happened to her? It sounds like something straight off of 2020. And so I started digging a little bit more. I went and looked at the news websites that her name came up, and there was a missing woman found. And so it didn't give me much information on what happened to her, but she showed back up. And this was 2 weeks ago. Not very long at all. So I thought that was a little bit interesting, and I'm a little bit curious about it. I tried to find a way to reach out to her. I haven't spoken to her in so long, but there wasn't much. She's never been a real online person, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I can get a hold of her. Maybe I can. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyways, good night.